All right, hey, before we kick things off today, we do want to talk about the presenting sponsor of this show, that is Miller Lite, because when you're in a mood for light beer, you don't want a beer that's light on taste, right? Miller Lite is brewed for people who want their light beer to taste like beer. And with just 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12-ounce serving, Miller Lite has more of the flavor you want and less of the stuff you don't. Miller Lite knows that beer lovers want their light beer to taste like beer, and that's why they brew a light beer that's light on calories, not on taste, because what's the point of having a beer if you can't taste it? What do you got to say about Miller Lite, Danny?
That I love them. I'll have a Diet Miller with any occasion because it goes great on pretty much any occasion.
I agree.
As long as you're drinking responsibly, of course.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Chief?
Yeah, you know what little nickname always pops in my head for him was with Whitney was calling him Nick Lachey's, because Nick Lachey used to just drink them nonstop, and I just want to like
on the TV show
on the one with Jessica Simpson. He was he was drinking those all the time, and I ever since then it's always been in my brain. I just want to start calling them Lachey's.
That's a great
because because it is like the everyman beer, even if you're like a pop star dating the most beautiful woman in the world.
I mean, right after he was done trying to convince her that buffalo wings didn't come from Buffalo, he had to crack one
chicken
open.
of the sea.
Crack open a Miller Lite. Light beer with the flavor you love, tastes like Miller time. To get Miller Lite delivered right to your door, visit MillerLite.com/redline, or you could find it pretty much anywhere that they sell beer. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. All right, bang, bang. Welcome to the Mid Show. This is Eddie, Chief, White Sox Dave, Danny in the baby corner. How's everybody doing? How's everybody feeling? Big weekend upon us. The boys will be on the road again, on the plane this time. We won't be road tripping it up. I won't be able to be covertly riding Dave's ass on the expressway up to Milwaukee. We'll all be in the cylinder tube in the sky. So
not together, though. You upgraded yourself, so you didn't have to sit next to us.
I did.
It's funny. He conveniently said he upgraded after all the seats were already taken.
But
he didn't get
you
to
know
pick
what?
them.
He just told us that like 10 minutes ago. I am going to double check. I think that might have been like, don't even bother looking. It's almost like the Del Boca Vista. There's no houses left available.
No houses available, yeah.
I'm getting ahead of the story because I know that's going to be a thing. So I was sitting here because, listen, I'm sorry I'm a planner. I'm sorry I look. I'm sorry I prepare. I was sitting there with Tom, and we're like, man, this is crazy because usually I book my own shit. Mm-hmm. Like everybody.
I don't think I've gotten a flight yet, by the way.
I that's what it is also.
I'll have to look.
Yes.
I probably have.
You do. You do. I know you do. So we got our flights booked for Friday to go to Scottsdale. We're going to do some interviews. We got some cool people lined up. We
tease them.
I don't want to tease because I hate teasing because I always feel like if it doesn't happen, just follow us on social. I promise you we're going to be posting pictures and whatnot, and you'll see. But like we got some cool guests, some returning, some first timers. It's going to be good. It's going to be a fun time. And
we have one that's like supposedly locked in. I give it a 20% chance that it actually happens.
That one, yes.
I'm interested to see
one I give 100% because he's been on with us.
Yeah.
Okay, but I'm
say that. Can we say that one?
No. No, I don't want to, Dave. But now this is good. See, this is a good tease.
There you go. It's an organic good tease.
I sent a screenshot.
Dave, you love jumping the gun.
That's not jumping the gun.
I think so.
If you qualify it by saying they may bail last minute, then that's not on us. It'll be nothing that we
follow at Barstool WSD on social. I promise he will be posting stuff. How about that? Mm-hmm. Sorry, where was I? Oh, so we're sitting there, we're preparing, we're planning, and I look. I don't like when it's like you don't have a seat.
Yeah.
Like they will assign you a seat. I'm like I don't want to sit 3.5 hours middle seat.
I think you saw 3.5 hours. You were on the aisle. Dave was in the window, and you're just like,
I have backup on this. I have Tom back me up, and there was 2 seats left. One was in first, one was like an aisle, and Tom was like, oh, I might take the aisle. So I paid my own money.
Did you take the aisle?
Oh, no, I didn't.
Oh, you did not?
No.
I thought you were going to.
No, I said when we were having that conversation, I was like, I think I said it to you. I when I saw the price, I'm like, I would have taken the aisle, but not for $160, whatever it was.
It was probably stupid, but listen, I don't want to be sausage in there, and that's not good for anyone. The people next to me won't be happy. It's just not great.
No, you know what this actually was Eddie not telling us the address of the house so he can get the only parking spot.
No, that was in Milwaukee. That was definitely
total.
He was so coy about it. Like, hey, where are we going? Oh, just follow me. Well,
I was driving. I was 10 and 2. I was, I couldn't grab my GPS.
And then we couldn't even go park on the street because Eddie took 45 minutes to pull into the parking spot. We were just sitting there in the alley like a couple of schmucks.
What do you mean? You parked on the street afterwards?
Yeah, but we couldn't get through to the alley because you had to do a 27-point turn.
It was a tight carport.
It was. I'll
a
give you
very
that.
tight
But it was.
carport. And
It was
on a
also
hill.
a 27-point turn.
Why did you get dibs on the carport though?
I didn't know I was gonna have dibs. I just pulled up and I saw it and I pulled it.
Because
Because
he had the address.
He had the address.
The first spot I saw.
He knew
First
what
spot
was.
I saw.
I knew something was up when he didn't reply to me, and then I texted Danny, and Danny's like, he's being coy.
Well,
He won't
to be-
tell
can I-
me it
can I
either.
be
He was
honest
being
with
very
you?
coy with me. Even you should have heard the conversation.
Can I be honest with you? Because when you're the guy who's playing this stuff, it's all under my Airbnb account because I think the Barcelona one's banned forever after the
Oh, shit.
Minnesota Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say like they just left like a bunch of Ball Don't Lie shirts and like mugs and stuff and like just completely got kicked off of Airbnb.
There's how tight that squeeze
So
is.
tight, dude.
Yeah.
And I was looking out for the Ultima, dude. The Ultima's taking some beatings in the last.
Oh, that's why. Oh,
Yeah.
it's much
Yeah,
safer on the street. Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
So
Where it's
going
taking
back,
all of its beatings.
Yeah.
you gotta. If you're booking it, you got to walk in first. You got to take the lay of the line. I take the mental picture of how everything is. Next thing you know, White Sox Dave's going to be taking pictures off the frames and using it as like a beer pong table. So I just wanted to make sure and see how everything was before we walked in.
I think if we're talking about the Ultima, Dave, if you don't mind, we'd be remiss not to mention that you parked on like a random alley, but you left all your doors unlocked for the weekend because you didn't want someone breaking your window.
I mean,
Smart.
there's absolutely nothing in my car
Yeah,
that
you
you
got
can.
catcher's gear.
I will
That's
never,
worthless.
I will never understand that logic. Never.
Oh,
I
get-
have
that-
gotten
that
my
makes
car
sense.
broken
No.
into
I bring it up because we're fighting over the parking spot.
so many times.
Not a dig.
That I leave nothing in it, and I'll get out to my car and my like glove box will be parking tickets and the insurance card and just garbage everywhere because people break into it and rummage through it. If someone wants to break in, the lock isn't really stopping them if they really want to get in. All you got to do is a smash and grab. So I leave my car unlocked so they don't, because I don't want to go through the
You're
pain in the
minimizing
ass
damage.
of.
But here's the thing.
But if they open my car and they steal the car, it's got the GPS shit and all that.
if you have nothing visible, they probably won't break in. If you don't have like a
don't know.
bag sitting on the seat, they probably won't
I don't
break
leave
in.
anything in my car.
That's what I'm saying. They probably won't break in.
So then don't even
have,
bother locking
They
it.
have done that. I just said like a dozen times.
I'm just saying as a rule of thumb. A dozen times your car's
I would
broken
say my
into?
car's been broken
you
into.
just-
I have.
are you
I
just
could
like
probably dig
A
up
lifetime or
emails.
the Ultima?
Do you put a
The
placard
Ultima.
on top of it being like, break in, fellas,
I'd
doors
say
open?
I would. It hasn't happened since I moved into my current
Dirty Mike
place.
and the
But
boys.
when I lived in Lincoln Park for that 3-year stretch and on Augusta, that it was probably 10, 12 times it got broken in. And every time they'll rip open the glove box, dig everything out, and it'll be all over the car.
See if there's something underneath
See
those
if there's
parking tickets.
exactly. See if there's
and
something
they've
there.
broken
and they-
the lock. They've broken the window every time.
What if
you're
what-
not listening to a thing.
You got to
I'm
set
saying.
some mouse traps at that point.
What if it was the person
Yeah.
breaking into your car was the same person putting the boot on your car?
Nah,
like
I don't
an
think.
inside.
No, that
Double dipping.
But
What do you mean?
I leave
go
it
back. You said
unlocked.
I'm not listening to what you're saying.
I don't leave anything in my car. Clearly, people have tried to get into my car many times.
Yes.
So I would rather my car be open. They dig through all the shit that they don't want. I clean it up in 30 seconds, then them smash the window, find out that there's nothing in it that they want either, and then I got to go deal with getting a new window.
I think he's.
And if
making
they steal
sense.
my car, they steal my car.
I disagree.
I guess we're at a stalemate.
I guess no one's. But that's the same thing with like your. Do you? I mean, maybe you don't say that, but the people who don't lock their house doors is crazy to me too.
It depends on.
Crazy to me too.
I lock it now. When I lived in a high rise, it didn't lock it.
Yeah, so I'm on this.
So what? The guy on the different floor, he can't come upstairs and take your shit.
Buddy,
Saying
I would
you
know
can't,
it was
But
him,
there's also
though.
cameras in
Yeah.
high rises.
Eddie, you
and-
never
yeah.
heard of anyone like no one doing that before?
What?
What Dave does about leaving his car unlocked on purpose?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
you grew up
have.
in
I'm just saying
Manhattan.
it's not a Dave. I'm not vehemently disagreeing with Dave in general. I'm disagreeing with the premise of people who do that. That's my
I'm
point.
wondering. Yeah, I'm wondering if you're arguing that things aren't that bad that he has to do that. Because like all I'd say is that my parents growing up would tell me that's what they would do in Manhattan. And everyone would do that
I mean,
because it was like assumed you were going to get your window broken if you didn't.
Yeah, but my point is I don't know. If there's nothing on the seats, you have a
They don't know that.
spotless car.
They don't know that. And my car
So what?
is
Everyone
typically
so everyone is convinced that there's just valuables in your glove box.
they're thieves. That's what they do. They break into cars and steal shit out of cars.
Yeah, I think like back in the day, they'd rummage through the CDs and the change.
Well, and they would. I remember it's probably what Tom's talking about. They would like steal the radio out of your car.
Yeah, that was the thing
Yeah.
when people would have the customized one.
Yeah.
Go to ABT and get that done and just whatever.
Yep.
But whatever.
I don't think
regardless.
it's a weird move at all.
I'm not saying it's weird. I'm just.
I think it's logical.
Do you? So you disagree with it as well?
Well, I guess if I got broken into 12 times, like, things would change. I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
you got a fucking target on your back. 12's a lot.
You got to consider where I was living too. Like one was
Yeah.
street parking, another one was just a parking lot of like dozens of cars.
Yeah.
So
Rare W.
For the
Dave over Eddie,
for the
dude.
WSD. I'm not. Listen, I don't think there's a winner or a
Sox
loser.
Dave.
like your car, I would absolutely lock every like at all because I don't know really what's in Teslas. I don't know if they're actually. I think you might have told me this. There's like a less of a target on Teslas because they don't know how to use them, right?
Yeah, because my key is my phone.
They can't jump it like they would do.
Like hotwire it.
Yeah.
No, like dude, it's kind of funny. Some dude asked me for a jump, and I was like, dude, I can't do it, bro. You know, even if I wanted to, you know, can't do it. Doesn't work.
Yeah.
Like, whatever.
Good luck. Call AAA.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, if they want to steal a car, like have at it.
yes,
So go ahead and steal Dave's car.
I have gotten my car broken into in the West Loop before,
See?
and
They smash your window?
nope, they had a Jimmy system, and they somehow rigged it where I don't even
just
know.
picked the lock
They
or
just picked the
something.
lock.
Yeah,
and they got
so
it.
They
wouldn't
had
you-
those things that they would
Yep.
like slide down the window.
Yeah, what were those called? I had to do
They
that
looked
one
like
time
a
'cause I let
skinny,
my-
like little metal ruler. thing.
But don't
Yeah.
you wish you? So they rigged it. Did it
But-
cause any damage?
Here's the thing. No, it didn't cause any damage. Here's the thing, though. I had left a backpack on my back seat, so that's like on me. You know,
I don't
Since then I'm scarred. Like
Hey,
I
Ed,
will.
I think it's on them.
Yeah,
Don't steal
true.
shit.
If you see me with a backpack on, like I will bring it everywhere. If I'm just walking into
A gas station.
the
I-
gas
yeah.
station,
You guys have
I throw,
that in
I throw
common.
it on. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
I do that every
once
time
you
I'm going
get broken into, you're constantly convinced that people
Traumatized.
are looking.
I
for
care
that
about
shit.
this computer more than I care about my car.
Yeah, it only spilled a little bit of water on it a couple weeks ago.
Got fixed. It actually got fixed very quickly. I was happy with the service there. Shout out Apple.
So I don't know how we got on this, but yeah, I upgraded my seat.
Yeah.
Paid my own
and
money.
you upgraded it without telling us that, hey, you guys might want to get an upgrade. You might be stuck on
You wouldn't have.
seat.
You
Well,
would.
what you would have paid
I
for
have
first
done
class.
that so many times with Barstool flights.
I probably would not.
You would not upgrade it.
On
I
a middle
don't think
seat, I
so.
would have.
How long is that flight?
3.5 hours.
Yeah, 3.5.
I'm pretty good at sleeping on flights.
I've gotten better, yeah.
regardless. So like it's not a thing that really
I
bothers
wouldn't pay
me.
$300, but if it was like $70, I'd
Hey
be like, oh,
Dave,
fuck
there's
yeah.
a couple seats available.
Is
Go
there
upgrade
is
your
there
seat.
one right next to you?
No,
I don't-
If there
sure?
was, yeah.
All I care about is not being in the middle. I'm indifferent on aisle.
I agree too. That's what
Aisle or window.
That's what,
I've gotten to the point where I don't really care that much about being in the middle. It's like I
Really?
would prefer to not be in the middle, but if I'm in the middle, I'm not like fuck. I have to change my seat. I'll just I'll fold my arms and tilt my head back and
you'll be fine.
doze off.
But regardless, gonna be a good weekend of content. We'll be at Barstool Scottsdale at some point, and yeah, we'll just be out and about. I think we'll be going to the Sox Park on Sunday.
yeah.
Sunday. So if you're out there,
I'm ready for a little nice weather too.
yeah, that'd be nice.
don't
It's
mind
gonna be
that.
about
We got
70.
a shit fucking March.
Yeah, but the rest of the winter is pretty mild, so it's fine. It's a
Yeah,
decent
that's
trade-off.
true. We had a good winter, easy winter.
Will you be getting a rental car?
We will be getting a rental car.
Who will be driving it? You or Dave?
Chief will be driving
I
it.
better go get a license then. My
yeah.
license expired.
Oh
So is
yeah,
mine.
Can
Actually.
we just have your sister just print me a new one?
she does not work there anymore.
Okay. All right.
That
Sorry.
could she have done that?
Well, she worked.
That would have been one of the greatest hookups ever.
She didn't work at a DMV. She worked for Jesse White
Secretary of State.
specifically. Yeah.
Could she have pulled some strings to get you to cut that line? That's like the most I've ever agreed with Portnoy on anything ever. Was there needs to be like two separate DMVs. One you like pay and get instant service or something, and one where
They could make a killing off that if they made like a Disney Fast Pass for
Oh,
DMV. Like they'd be able
fix
to
the
get
whole budget.
Yeah, they get.
the last time I needed to go to the DMV,
Call Paul Vallis right now.
Should
I went to
call him?
one
Call
where
me Sunday.
where out by you. In some strip mall, obviously. I waited outside for like 3 fucking hours. I thought I got there at 8 in the morning. Like, no one was going to be there. There was a line down the block.
Wow. It's awful.
Yeah.
It's very awful, especially when they change to the real IDs. But yeah, I think there's a cutting the line perk people have been able to use before.
He's being coy again.
It's a nice perk.
He's
he
being
is
coy
being
again.
coy.
I'm not saying
I don't
me.
think he ever took the driver's test. That's what it sounds like to me. He's just fucking driving recklessly.
That's why I couldn't pull into that carport.
Yeah,
That's why I
exactly.
needed it. Yeah, that was my problem.
He's referring to me. It's one of like the best perks I have in my life. My buddy's mom works at a DMV and she just takes me front of the line at every station.
Can she take me to the front of the line?
Yeah.
What do you got for me?
I'll get you upgraded out of the baby chair.
Oh, I was gonna ask how do I upgrade out of this, but I was waiting for you guys to bring it up.
You got to beat White Sox Dave in the White Sox Dave Challenge 3 weeks in a row.
Deal.
I actually we haven't spoken about this in probably years at this point, but Danny and I do need to play basketball one-on-one against each other.
Oh, that's true.
Oh.
That was an old thing.
That was in like,
That was the old office.
yeah.
All right, put a pin in that.
Yeah.
We
We'll do that one during the NBA finals.
I have an L2 and a White Sox Dave challenge, the Cheesies challenge when I puked from all the 5
that's
pounds
right.
of grilled cheese.
Oh,
but you
that's,
do have IBS, so
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone thought I was gonna win a eating competition, especially we were coming straight from Eastern, so it was like a hungover college trip right into an eating contest.
That's true.
I do think if maybe not mass quantity, but if they did like instead of how many hot dogs you can eat a minute, it's like how fast can you eat 2 hot dogs? I think that you could be like a champion. You're like one of the fastest.
Yeah,
eaters
no,
I've
it's
ever seen.
bad. It's bad. I make conscious efforts not to eat so fast, especially when I'm eating publicly. But
Like you eat faster than my dog.
it's bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why
And
is it
then
bad? Does it embarrass you?
No. It's bad in the fact that it takes a second for like the feeling of being full to kick in.
Yeah.
Your brain to catch up with your stomach.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's a
And
real thing.
It is a real
Yeah.
thing. And sometimes I'll just eat so fast and I'll eat so much that like I feel like I want to die.
I actually like you do like this guttural like when you get done eating and you've had too much, you're like, oh.
Yeah, no, I'm like, ugh, I did it again. Sometimes you're just eating a meal so good though that you can't help it. And
Yeah.
you're like, I'll cross that bridge when I get there. And then 30 seconds later, you're just fucking miserable.
All right, who could eat slower challenge, me versus Dave?
What about like on a date? Will you ever just be wrapped up and she's just?
Oh, I eat like a fucking bird, just like one
you
pea
do?
at a time with the fork.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought maybe
And
you
it
wrap
throws
up.
me the fuck off.
And it's like, all right, she just hasn't even cut into her steak yet. What's next? You know what I mean?
Another round of drinks.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah.
Where was I going to go? With Arizona.
Can we tease who we got coming on the show?
Well, since you
I'll
haven't
just
asked
say
yet.
it. Okay, we got
No, what
Sheriff Joe coming on.
what we're gonna try to do is drive from
Who the
the
fuck is Sheriff
from
Joe?
the southern border to Flagstaff in a day. So you see the
No,
whole
that's not.
state.
Nope.
See the whole
What
state
do you
in a
need to
day.
see at the southern border? You're not going
Isn't it-
to
what's down there?
Nogales.
Mesa's down there. You just
No, Mesa's in the Phoenix metro.
what's Tucson then?
Tucson.
Tucson,
Tucson's
yeah.
like an hour and a half drive south,
Tucson to Flagstaff. We'll do a little road trip.
and Flagstaff's like an hour and a half, 2-hour drive north.
Okay.
Are we gonna throw shit at the Breaking Bad house? Where's that?
That's New
That's
Mexico.
No, it's New Mexico.
Wrong state.
So we need our passports.
Wrong state. I mean, speaking of
Same
that,
country.
if we're talking about traveling,
Oh, New Mexico. My bad.
we should touch on the fact that all our lives, at least mine specifically, is fucked because of this construction on the 90.
Oh yeah.
And this is a very relatable topic to probably someone sitting in this traffic right now listening to this.
Well, Ed, can we start by asking you how much longer did it take you to get home or to work?
You would, so I told you, I'm well documented as a guy who I type in Waze every single time I go home and go back, and which I know is probably fucking super weird to people.
Internet will take it well.
The
Go on.
the route that it showed me today was ridiculous. It was
Oh,
ridiculous.
just zigzagging through everything.
I was getting on, getting off, just zipping through Elston, hopping on over here, taking the Eden. It was just
Do you
maniacal.
remember what time I left the office yesterday?
No.
It was at 4:00 on the dot. So I told you. Did I tell you why I left the office at that time?
No.
I had a haircut. Do you remember? Do you remember now?
Yes.
Have you complimented him on his haircut
It
yet?
was a
Let's see
4:30
it.
p.m. haircut. I got a hat on. The stoolies will roast my hair.
Listen.
It was a 4:30 haircut. I left at 4 o'clock on the dot, and my barber told me, he's like, "Hey, traffic's been really shitty on Division Street. Make sure you give yourself time." I'm like, "Oh, it takes me 15 minutes to get home, which is farther than my barber shop. I'll leave at 4 o'clock. That'll be plenty of time." I didn't get from the office into my barber shop in Wicker Park until 4:45. 45 minutes because of that fucking
Damn,
construction.
did Dustin still seat you?
Yeah, he did. He got me in. Thank you, Dustin.
Hey.
But 45. It's gonna be fucking awful. It overflowed from the highway, is what I'm saying, down a
Yes,
Halstead.
because people are going to
Yeah.
find alternate routes. So it's going to affect literally everybody. For the
Everybody.
most part. Unless if you work
Thank
at
God we're
home.
moving an office to 2 blocks away from me.
Fuck you.
Dave, remember the night we had with your barber and his friend?
I do. We can rehash that. I got blamed for that. I
What-
got
what
dragged out of the
happened?
bar for that.
Time out. Can we go back to one thing? We'll go back to that. But time out. You said you didn't want to take off your hat because the stoolies be roasting you. Listen, I think people are nicer than you thought. You were worried about the stoolies roasting your penis, and it never happened.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So I think they've been more forgiving lately. Because if people don't know, they should go back and watch stool scenes from a couple weeks ago. And there was an incident where
Yeah. Can I
Wasn't
say
an
something
incident.
else? I've never
Not
heard
even an
Who
incident.
gives a fuck about boxer briefs?
Nothing. You
nobody.
should not.
No,
What's
there's
the
no.
incident?
There's no.
was
But like,
no angle.
just
Just you being worried about people, the
Oh, I was
stoolies.
fucking joking around.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I'm sure there's plenty out there that
why are they
I
looking
could've
at
been
your
Peter
penis
North.
anyways? Kind of.
Nobody even
perverted.
saw it, No one even saw your
Let's
penis.
see if we could. Yeah.
You didn't. It was just a good angle.
I don't even.
You didn't see this yet?
No, I watched it,
Can we film?
and I remember when we were filming, obviously.
Have you seen this, Chief?
Yeah, it was like midnight, and I wanted to go downstairs and get some water. And
stool is roasting my penis, okay?
and that's also a play on KB said that exact line in A Rediscovered America.
It seemed like the nugget was hanging well.
I don't think I've heard anyone call it a nugget before
Oh,
either.
no?
No.
Nuggets.
Yeah,
Not a singular nugget.
My
Yeah.
buddies will call it a nugget, like just people.
Why
I mean,
nugget?
it made me laugh,
right.
but I've never heard someone call it a
Why not a tender, dude? Nugget seems a little small.
yeah. Maybe you were roasting his penis.
No. It's just the nuggets. Like it's like the full package. It's like when it looks like a cup. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I mean I get it. Like it made sense. It made me laugh. I've just never heard of it described that way.
Yeah. It's a nugget.
Yeah.
The nugget. No, the
nugget's the whole thing.
It's nugget. The nuggets are the nut set. The nuts.
That's
not
the
nut
Mick. That's
set.
the McNuggets. Excuse yourself.
You guys are fucking weirdos out there.
Why?
Is this like Rieger or someone who said this?
The nugget?
Yeah.
No, I forget. We went like camping once, and like this dude came out of the fucking tent, and he had like this swamp ass floner combo, and he had a cigarette in his mouth, and he was pissing. It was 7
That doesn't
a.m.
describe anybody from St. Patrick's High School that I know.
Subscribes probably everybody who went there.
I'm very much joking.
Yeah, he had a swamp ass floner combo. It was 7 a.m. He had a cigarette in his mouth. He's just pissing in the woods. And ever since then, we're like, dude, just put that
the nugget
fucking
away.
nugget away. What are you doing? But yeah, the traffic's gonna be bad.
It's
Point being.
I feel like it's always under construction though.
what are they? Yeah, what are they doing to it?
It's been in.
Oh, so you're on your. See, a lot of people were like, "What are you fucking talking about? There's always traffic on the 90. There's always construction on the 90." No. This is a big project. They are shutting down. From what I understand, they're shutting down 2 inbound lanes from O'Hare to downtown. Then they're doing so they're going to reroute everybody inbound to the express lanes. Then they're going to do the express lane, so the express lane will be de facto gone.
It's already done. Isn't like it's never used anymore, right?
No, it is. It is. I
Yeah,
took it
yeah.
this morning. And then, so it's going to be normal at no express lane. And then they're doing outbound to O'Hare, and they're going to shut down.
Do you know what this means?
What?
I'm never going to see my parents ever again.
Yeah, that does.
Probably.
I get lucky. I get to take 88.
Because I remember there were times where we would be going in for a Blackhawks game, and like I would go, leave from my parents' house with my dad at 3:45 just to get there for puck drop. If it was like a Friday night game, like that road, and there's always like that one choke point kind of as
Yeah.
you're approaching O'Hare.
Irving.
Yeah, and it gets fucking horrible, and it's gonna be bad. So I hope they're happy. I also did have somebody DM me a conspiracy theory about it,
Oh, really?
where it's like they want to put people back on the train since no one takes the trains anymore since COVID. We got to get people back on the Metro's going bankrupt, so we have to. If we make traffic bad enough, people will start taking the train again.
I don't hate that conspiracy theory.
I mean, it's if I'm taking, I'd rather take the train, and I hate public transportation. I'd rather take the train, the blue line from O'Hare to downtown, and then hop in an Uber or whatever, than sit in 3 hours of traffic on the Kennedy.
Yeah.
So normal commute time versus your new commute time. What's the time difference?
It hasn't like severely spiked yet, but I'll tell you what, it is. I spilled my coffee. Thank you, Hannah. It is going to get worse. I haven't done rush hour yet though, so I can't really give you an accurate. But just knowing from the time I came in today, it was severely spiked. Severely spiked. Double, I would say.
Ooh.
Double.
And it's just gonna get worse. That fucking sucks.
Yeah. Now, get back into what we were getting into before I brought up the stories roasting his penis. Yeah.
It wasn't with Dustin. We were guilty by association.
Yeah.
Danny and I were.
I don't know. Every time Dave brings up his barber, I just have to. It's like
it is
word
a super
association.
funny story.
We were basically in a bar, Dave and I.
No, here you got to back up a long time though.
You go.
So we had the Barstool Classic that day, and we get back, and it was me, you.
It was the putting contest, to be fair. But yes, me, you, and your barber and his friends.
No, I don't know why we ran into that bar though. We go to this dive bar of dive bars that's technically in Humboldt Park. It's just west of Western on like Chicago-ish Avenue. And I don't know how we wound up there, but first person I see is my barber, who happened to be on a bachelor party with like, I don't know, 10 other guys or whatever it was. And obviously they're all completely lit up, smoke drunk. And I had never hung out with my barber outside of work, but he actually, I found him via, he's just a Barstool fan. So, and he does an excellent job on my hair, I might add. But
I would agree.
Yeah. He said, he put it perfectly. He flipped it from a 3 to a 6, but it only lasts at the 6 until like 3 days after he cuts it. Anyways, we're in there. Naturally, I'm like shooting the shit with them. Like,
so you have 3 days a month where your hair is a 6.
Basically,
yeah.
And
that's awesome.
So it looks like we are with them, but we weren't with them. We just happened to run into them there. And within 5 minutes, I don't know, how long do you think we were out there?
15 minutes or so, yeah.
Yeah, not long.
Yeah.
We got into a cinder block throwing contest somehow.
Yeah.
What is that?
Dave was shot putting cinder blocks outside the bar.
Yeah, some dude was like a national champion shot putter at like Iowa or something.
Sounds like the next White Sox Dave challenge.
Naturally, he challenged Dave.
And I think I won, maybe. Probably not. But we get back inside the bar, and one of the I couldn't even begin to tell you this guy's name. That's how removed from the situation I really am. But some dude puked all over the bathroom. So they all leave, and Danny and I are sitting at the bar, and then within, I don't know, 10 minutes maybe, all my barber and his buddies are gone, and the bouncer gives me the tap. You got to leave. Your friend threw up on the, like, all over the bathroom.
Well, not only
it wasn't
that,
the barber.
they were about
I'll
to
say
make us clean up the puke in the bathroom. I said, "What are you talking?"
And
about?
I was like,
even if I did do it,
that's my fucking barber. I just happened to run into him here. I have no idea who any of those guys are. I know my barber, and that's it. I didn't plan to see him here. We just happened to run into each other. And they're like, "No, you got to go." So I'm like, "All right, after this drink." And the bartender I'm like, "Don't fucking touch my hand." Because he like wrapped around my gripped cup, or glass, pint glass, whatever it was. So then I naturally get contentious.
You?
Yeah, me.
Okay, yeah.
Believe it? Crazy, right?
This guy must have really stepped over the line.
He did.
Yeah.
And he removed me, and I probably called him a cunt or motherfucker or
You?
challenged him to a fight or
all
something.
the above. Yeah, at one point, me and this random bar back are like eye to eye contemplating which one of us is about to clean up White Sox Dave's barber's friend's puke.
That I met. Maybe not even met. I don't even know if I like introduced myself.
It's a little disappointing that you weren't brothers in arms with your barber. Are you not barber strong? I feel like you should have went.
No.
This guy makes your hair a 6, 3 days a month. Like that. Like this is a fucking brotherhood.
He's a miracle worker.
It's a brotherhood. You should have cleaned it up.
What if it was Dustin's puke?
I would have been
More inclined. Bless you.
Bless you.
Don't sneeze again. I'm not giving it a second bless you.
I don't want any blessies.
Okay.
They're disingenuous anyways. I would have been more inclined, yes, but like I had nothing to do with this bachelor party with the group that was there, that guy, and
No, I mean, you're in the right.
yeah.
Yeah.
But even after explaining it to them, they like didn't want to admit like, all right, these guys. I'm like, I don't know this guy. I just happened to run into my fucking barber here.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. Like, you got to drag me out of this fucking bar. That's how right I knew I was. Like, I challenged it. That's the only time I've ever been in that place too, and I actually kind of liked it.
Well,
It was my kind of vibes.
As a former worker in the industry, like that's not normal, right? Do we just cut out?
I feel like
we're
We're back.
yeah.
Of course not.
As-
Yeah, like you kick him out, sure, but to be like, maybe you should clean it up. It was your friend.
I feel like
What are we
if
talking
you
about?
then it has to be like, well, the tab is cleared. Like I'm not paying for a dime if you're making me clean the puke.
Sure. I mean, I understand why you're upset, but it's your job. I clean plenty of puke in my day.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe we should transfer over to the red line segment now.
Okay.
All right. First and foremost, I guess how we both lost the bracket buskers like instantly.
Yep.
it sucks. It would.
I said this on the rundown yesterday. The best promotion we maybe do. is
Oh,
that
yeah.
tournament. It's like a content. I really enjoyed that. How did you guys enjoy the tournament in general after that?
I thought the tournament's great. You know, and it's again like I don't know anything. I am currently first in our little office pool, not to brag, but I filled that thing out in 30 seconds and I forgot
just
every
click,
pick I made. But it's been I really enjoy it. The upsets are great. I've been like kind of critical of college basketball as a whole because I don't think it's as good as it was 15, 20 years ago because of like the one and dones and the transfers and all that. But I do think it actually makes the tournament better because these lower seeded teams, like the gap between like a Kansas and fucking Princeton is not what it was probably 20 years ago. So I feel like the actual first two rounds of the tournament are probably better than they've ever been. So I really liked it. I had a great time.
Yeah, the only thing that sucked is UNC Asheville, which was you, Dave, and Clem, correct?
Yeah.
It was 14-0, like 2 minutes into the game.
Didn't have a chance.
I literally have never turned a sporting event off so fast in my entire life because I was rooting for you guys to win because you guys would have played Northwestern, and I would have loved if Northwestern would have been the reason that you guys would have not gone to Ireland. Yeah. So, but it was like for you it was 14-0. For us it was like we couldn't get in. Chief and I did the whole Cowboy thing because we had Montana State. And we just couldn't get into it because the game was.
I think they cut it to like 5 at one point in the second half, but it was never.
Did it get that close?
Yeah. Oh yeah, made some mistakes, but that. Look, I'm not a whiskey connoisseur, and I don't know if this is a free ad or not since they've sponsored the thing. I really enjoyed that Buskers. I thought that was a nice, smooth, easy whiskey. So we had we didn't have a full bottle, but we had some helpings there. It was a nice little night. Yeah.
I think.
Cowboy Dave was back.
We get into Northwestern a little bit. Northwestern, they were good, but I think UCLA has a very good chance to win the whole damn thing. They're very good.
Where did Mick Cronin come from again?
Cincinnati.
Okay.
Dude, I was reading his story.
You don't like Cincinnati? You don't like UCLA? You're not impressed?
I'm pissed because Northwestern played like shit, and I really think they could have won.
They're
They
good,
lost
though.
by 5. They shut them down for the most. I don't want to say shut down, but they played very well defensively, like I knew they would. They just needed that like above average offensive game to win, and they got a below average offensive game.
It feels like, based on what you're saying, the only thing that team is really missing is like a true scorer.
They need a guy that can hit
a bucket guy.
Well, they
a
do have the
guy.
bucket guy, but when you only have one or two of them, it's pretty easy to key on that. You need other people to step up and hit a big shot or just to come through for you, and that unfortunately couldn't be done.
I mean, I said this last week. I think it was the
Bowie's
most.
a walking bucket. That guy's
Yeah, he's awesome.
They don't have any shooters. I feel like,
they need that 3-and-D guy that you get him the ball, like if like on an outlet pass or something where he's got a 3 and he hits 40% of them.
Fucking Travis Diener.
Yeah, someone like that. They didn't have that this year, but they had everything else, and that team, I swear to God, was going to win 10 games total on the year.
What was the preseason win total?
Everyone was saying 13th or 14th in the Big Ten. They finished second regular season. Obviously, that was
Hotly contested.
wasn't highly contested.
Well, they could have finished 9th on the last.
That's what
day
I'm
of the
saying.
season.
It was.
Well, that's pretty. I'd say that's highly contested. You guys, very competitive.
I don't think
league.
contested is the right word. It's more that like
a lot of
there was
parity.
a lot of teams that were right in the same talent level, I guess. But but they got me through the winter. I can't thank them enough for getting me through the winter. I was looking
That's all
forward
sports
to,
really is.
What?
Just getting you through a season, and then you're just waiting to die.
But they can return the entire team because of the extra COVID years, and if they do, I mean that I think should be a
add
Sweet
a piece.
16.
You get a transfer who could
Yeah,
shoot
get a
little
transfer
bit.
who can shoot, and I mean the defense won't leave because it doesn't need to leave. So I don't know.
Can we Photoshop Dave on the face of that kid who was crying in the classroom when that girl made the answer? Did you see that video? Dave?
Oh yeah,
When
Dave
the little
saying,
kid. Yeah.
Thank you for getting me through the winter.
You didn't see this video?
I don't think I did.
dude.
Oh,
Dude,
it was
sick.
fucking awesome.
It was a very good video.
Yeah, it was like a second grade class or something like that. And if she got the answer right, you got like free play, and she got it right, and like kids in the class like had like legitimate like breakdown, like so happy. It was.
Dude. We got the video.
Up to you. All right, parents, we made a bet. If Harley gets this right, then we can have free time. If she don't, then we still working. Harley, what answer did you write down?
Yeah, that's a heartwarming video.
Just
great.
keep watching though.
He was.
There's these two kids in the background.
Someone's like, it's like he won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So please put Dave on that kid. Thanking Northwestern for getting him through the winter.
Yeah, like we did it, man. We did it.
Great video.
Did they win?
Fantastic.
Did they win a tournament game? I remember they played Vanderbilt. I can't remember who
Yeah,
won.
they beat Vanderbilt, lost Gonzaga, and that
Okay.
was fucking bullshit. That game still makes me sick because
But isn't that the only 2 tournament wins ever now?
Yeah.
Is this year and that year?
yeah.
Yeah.
But in that Gonzaga game, I believe the score was 78-76. Northwestern goes for a dunk, and Gonzaga's player reached through the
I
rim
vaguely
and
remember
stuffed
that,
him,
yeah.
and they didn't call it.
Called goaltending.
And that would have tied the game. And then obviously Chris Collins went fucking bananas because the entire stadium saw it and got teed up, and that was the ball game. That would have
Dang.
tied it with 2 minutes left.
Ball game.
And they came back from 20 points that game. So they had all the momentum. That fucking made me furious.
Bright future if they could build on this team, you would think. I hope it's not just a one and done flash in the pan like that team was. I know
That
it's-
team, they fucked that up.
I-
That shouldn't have been. They should have built off that.
Doug-
I really think it could be a basketball school, in spite of how horrible their history is.
You
I
would
really
think that they'd be able to recruit like the Catholic leagues. Get
one
kids
player.
and-
That's
yeah.
what they did with Vic Law. Vic Law was a St. Rita kid, and
Sobolewski too. Remember
he was
him?
Bennett.
Yeah.
He wasn't recruited by Collins though. He was under Carmody. But Vic Law, that's the kind of guy you should get. He was a top 100 guy, 4-year player that had not an NBA career, but he played in the NBA in regular season. Now he's I think in Australia last I saw. But those kind of guys you can get.
Yeah.
And it only takes 1-2 of them, and
Then
I
it
don't
could be. Yeah, it could be a good program.
yeah.
I should apologize to everybody for Drake. I'm just as
I bet
upset
Drake.
as you. I hammered Drake. They were up the whole game, and then they didn't score. They scored 1 field goal with 6 minutes remaining. 6 minutes, and it was the most infuriating game to watch. And
Well, that was at the same time as Montana State, so I wasn't. And in my head, I had
I
a green.
remember
I had
seeing
a, I had
this,
a
yeah.
green dot next to that game with 8 minutes to go. I was like, Drake has
I
this.
know.
And then I just didn't watch it again. I was like, wait, what the fuck? How did they lose?
Infuriating.
Yeah.
But after watching that game and then watching the second round game on Sunday against Indiana, I do have my new horse that I'm backing, and it's Miami. They're pretty fucking good. They
Yeah.
play good defense. They're a great free throw shooting team.
Larinaga.
Larinaga, they
He
got a
always
good
gets it
coach.
done.
They went to the Elite Eight yesterday. They have experience. I got them at plus 8,000 at halftime of the Indiana game
To win the
And-
whole thing.
to win the whole thing. And they went, after the game, they went down to plus 4,000.
Ooh.
So, I mean, obviously it's because they advanced probably mostly. but I think they look
No,
really
they got a
good.
1 in 16 shot.
Yeah, they
I mean,
look
I know
really
it doesn't
good.
work like that, but
Very tall task against Houston, though, on Friday.
Yeah.
Very
I
tall
watched
task.
Houston play, and it's the first time I've watched.
They were without their best player,
Were they okay?
and I think he's supposed to be back for this round.
Did you watch them in their second game?
I did
I know
not.
if you're saying you watched them in their first round game against the
They
they
struggled.
looked,
bad. They looked sloppy.
yeah.
All
Yeah.
of the above. But their second round game against
They looked
Auburn,
awesome.
they looked good.
Yeah.
Auburn was there. They didn't play great the first half, but Sasser's the real deal. And if that guy comes back, it's
I
going to
am
be tough
pissed
for
about
Miami.
Penn
But I
State,
thought
though.
it was worth a flyer.
That
But it-
was like my best cash out moment ever. Where I had I had San Diego State as a parlay with them for like pretty significant money, and for me, and then Penn State took the lead with like, I don't know, 5 minutes ago they're up by 1, and it just felt like it was one of those situations where you felt like they blew their load coming back. So I'm like, let's just cash out right now, and then Texas won by like 6. So
I think it was like 10.
yeah, like they pulled away, but I was like, I got it at like the perfect.
And they
time.
looked, and Penn State looked like the best team on the planet against Texas A&M.
Yeah, they look good.
Yeah, they looked
Yeah.
really good.
I do have Miami in the championship in our office pool.
I have Houston.
Oh, really?
I feel like our bracket might come down to that game because I have Houston winning it all, but the rest of my bracket kind of sucks.
I have Bama and Miami, I'm pretty sure.
yeah.
No shit. Besides that, that's the current ongoing tournament. A different tournament wrapped up yesterday. Shohei Ohtani in Japan won the World Baseball Classic. Dave, thoughts? You were very excited about it. You talked about it on Tuesday's episode. What did you think of the final?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was like they're doing it every 3 years. They announced it. I don't know if that was already set in stone, but they announced that they're going to have another one in 2026. It's awesome. I think it's awesome. I'd rather watch this. I don't watch White Sox spring training because half the guys.
Split squad shit.
Yeah, exactly. It's just they're working on stuff. It's glorified practice. This wasn't. These players were so emotionally invested into winning. Like you could see the steam coming out of Mike Trout's ears when he struck out against Ohtani last night. But I think the more interesting. I actually talked to Dan Szymborski. You guys, he's been on Redline.
Name's
You
familiar.
reference him a lot.
Yeah, he's a friend of mine. He works for Fangraphs. He's the one who is responsible for all the steamer projections, and he does. He's a total math nerd, and he wears it on his sleeve. Like he looks like a math teacher, and he is an awesome guy. Someone I really, really, really enjoy speaking with. And out of curiosity, I shot him a DM last night, and I'm like, hey, like. You're the numbers guy. Could you project this Japanese team, assuming they had like Ohtani, Darvish, and the guys that play in Major League Baseball, if they played a 162-game season? And he got back to me this morning, and he's like, it's super hard to do for obvious reasons. These guys don't have any track record against Major League pitching, blah blah blah. But he said that he thinks they would be somewhere. Like a second division champion. So like what?
Oh.
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
Like
But like a highly competitive team.
yeah. Like
Yeah.
the team he used was the Padres,
Okay.
which they won 90-something games last
Yeah.
year, and and that's about what I thought. Other people were like, 75 win. Other people said 120 wins. That's how big the variance was, and I couldn't even. Because I could see 75 win. But I could also hear the argument on like 110 win, what was it, 116 with the Mariners 20 years
Yeah.
ago or whatever. But I don't know. It's super fucking cool seeing other leagues. Like, I mean, Trout looked fucking stupid in some of his at-bats against these Japanese pitchers I've never heard of,
What do you make of, what do you feel about it being a one-game winner-take-all for the final?
It's got to be that.
It does? You couldn't do a best of 3?
I don't think that. Like, I think this
I saw Jared tweet that before the game, the first pitch.
Obviously, that's baseball, and
Yeah.
it's not football where there's 16 games, 17 games now, and each like.
I don't have an
get
opinion.
that.
I'm just
I
asking
get
what
it,
your
but
take.
the stress you're putting on your body in 3 games is not something that I think the players would be willing, or the organizations that are paying the players would be willing to sign off on. Like, this is the perfect level of
yeah.
everything.
Okay. Yeah. It's just
But yeah, I am looking forward to it again. And I was very adamant about how I don't want any White Sox players playing in it because of how hurt they get. And that completely changed. I want every single White Sox player experiencing that level of competition going into a season. What's
interesting is the counterpoint here where people were upset about their players playing and getting injured, where Ohtani, like, I think Angels fans should be thrilled for the guy.
Yeah.
This is probably the biggest moment he's had, right? On that stage, I guess, because the Angels are always just crumpling down at the bottom of the division.
They got sold, right? To somebody?
No,
their forced sale.
They ended up not happening.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying. They
explored the sale, but didn't do it.
And like I said, I believe they don't like their ownership. I don't believe they like Moreno.
Mm-hmm.
So you're in a situation where, like, I think it was good for the game.
Yeah.
To have him, he's really.
I mean, you couldn't script it better with the final at bat.
He's the best in all of American sports right now. Like, he's maybe the best story overall. I mean, who else has done what he's doing, dude?
No, he's a freaking nature. Yeah.
I mean, go through it. Go through the list of all the sports. It really is amazing what Shohei Ohtani is doing.
I mean, I liken it to.
There's nothing.
It couldn't
be like
Deion
Sanders, but if he was an All-Pro at corner and receiver or something,
Right.
But like,
and that's what I'm saying. Where I was talking to Clem about it on the rundown, and he's like, "Well, yeah, but our teams." I don't know if he said or Robbie. We're like, "Are you really like that happy about it?" I feel like, Dave, if you had one of your guys on the national stage like that, who just lit it up, and the whole world like really
even
got
back
to
in
enjoy it.
And back in 2017, that was one of the Sox. It was the winter right after the Sox traded Sale. They traded Sale and Eaton, and Quintana was still on the team. And Quintana was starting against the Americans for Team Columbia. And I was hoping that Quintana just shoved the ball down their throats that game.
Yeah.
Because, like, I still didn't – I don't care that the U.S. lost last night. I was watching it for the enjoyment of good baseball, which is something I never do. But, like, in 2017, everybody was watching that game, especially Sox fans, because they all knew that Quintana was next to be dealt.
And he deserved his fucking due because of how good he was for you guys.
And he was fucking
awesome. And people still want him to be like, he's not. He's a 3.
Yeah.
You know, he's
I don't know if I would be like if I was an Angels fan, if I would be hyped. Like, I remember when the Hawks won it in 10, but they had the Olympics before that with Team Canada, and Duncan Keith was the best defenseman, and Jonathan Taves was the most outstanding player in the tournament. But they hadn't won anything yet. So in my mind, it was just like, well, these are all the best players in the world, and we have the 2 best guys. So that like just encouraged me. But like the Angels don't have any like real hope of team success.
You're not hoped about you're not happy about your franchise. You're very depressed and very disillusioned, and you're mad. But for the guy who you watch every night, it's like, wow, this guy deserves this.
Yeah, I suppose. I don't think I don't have as much of that in me as you.
You don't think there's a?
I'd be like, oh, that's nice for him, but I wouldn't be like, fuck yeah, Shohei, finally you got your due.
But dude, it's like a territorial wrestling stadium where like those guys. Granted, I know people can watch it, especially today's age. TV is everywhere, but he's playing 10 p.m. games against the fucking
true
A's. Who's tuning in for that?
Nobody
the time?
is.
Yeah. No one is, and that's where you get your show pony to get some national spotlight. I think it's really fucking awesome. He did choose the Angels, which I'll be interested if he chooses it again. We'll see.
I saw someone post the Mike Trout's earnings since Ohtani came into the league, and what Ohtani's made like $9 million and change, and Trout's made like 170 or something like absurd.
That's something that I was thinking last night. I was in deep thought, staring at the ceiling.
Shout out 3Chi.
And it kind of fucking pisses me off that Mike Trout is the greatest player of the last 20 years, bar none, no questions asked. Greatest hitter, that is. Obviously, he doesn't pitch, which changes the equation. But and baseball should be marketing Shohei Ohtani like they are. What took him so long, though? Like, there are generational players that are playing the game as we speak that should have been getting this fanfare. Like Mike Trout, for instance. Mike Trout has sat and rotted. And when he is up to bat, it's like, stop what you're doing and watch him, because he's probably going to do something.
It's weird
incredible.
that those guys are more accessible than ever because of media. You can people would talk about Mickey Mantle even if they were living here, and they would maybe see him in the All-Star game and read box scores. Like,
Yeah,
he just,
it's true.
I disagree with you guys.
Why?
We've talked about this before.
I don't think so.
I think at this point, I think Trout, like, maybe that's just him. Maybe he's just not the over.
But like, you do have
boisterous guy.
If you're a fan and you want to watch Mike Trout because he is so awesome, you can. Everybody knew Joe DiMaggio, Mickey Mantle, like, they were household names coast to coast.
You had to go out of your way to see those guys.
Or you couldn't. You would
Yeah.
see him when they would come play the White Sox for 4 days in August if you wanted to. And you might have some shitty black and white TV, but it's not.
Yeah,
like
but what I'm saying is, when is the onus off Major League Baseball, and when is it a little bit on Mike Trout?
It's not on Mike Trout at all.
I'm not putting the onus on either of them. I just find it.
You said marketability. You said.
I didn't say that.
He said that.
Yeah.
I did, but it's like they've never even tried.
I can't.
Not to this
I can't
extent
speak to
they
that. I'm
Not to the
speaking
Shohei
more of like
Ohtani.
a cultural phenomena where it was like.
Yeah,
Even when you didn't, it's like they almost became a myth because you couldn't see them in a way. Where now it's just like you can see them all the time and nobody really cares.
Yes, I'm totally on cheap side here.
Yeah,
But
I think
I
you're
also
arguing
want to make
different
this.
things, though.
We are.
You're arguing totally
Yeah.
different things.
Well, I'm arguing a different thing.
My
with you,
point
too.
is the marketing thing. Everyone's like, I can't believe MLB doesn't market. It's like, at some point, like, I don't know, Trout make a fucking Rogan.
Dude, how many
appearance or
fucking
something.
Yankees,
You know, I'm
versus
being
Red
honest,
Sox,
though,
or
like,
Cubs versus Cardinals Sunday?
But
like,
there's some. But he does do like he got. I mean, I guess he's not like doing media, but he's like out there with.
on
Like
the Eagle sideline.
Yeah,
and
doing,
I'm
like,
not
the Eagle
shitting on
shit.
him. I like, that's
Yeah.
cool. I love when I see
Yeah.
him on the Eagles sideline. I like Mike Trout. He's a fucking phenomenal player, and he seems like a cool dude. I almost like him more that he doesn't give a fuck about any of that.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
But
at
they-
the same time, like, it does get exhausting hearing everyone talk about how, I mean, they need to.
I mean, they could do. They could. I mean, maybe it's a silly example, but MLB Net, they have their own network. You could, and maybe they're doing this, and I just don't know. You could cut into every Mike Trout at bat the way ESPN used to do with Barry Bonds when he was chasing down records, and just do a better job. And I also think
they
that
kind
there
of
is
do a little bit, but not.
there is also the thing where they're Nazis about their stuff being on YouTube and Twitter. And if it's like, if you want people to see highlights, like, the hockey doesn't do that, like, and no other sport does that. It's like baseball and the Olympics are the only ones where.
My
I don't
point
know
is,
if it's that bad for baseball because I've never gotten DMCA'd and I've put plenty of baseball highlights on the Twitter.
I thought that was a
my
big thing.
point is,
They have always said it. Absolutely. I just personally haven't gotten.
my point is, maybe they could do more. They probably absolutely could do more. But I think at this point, we just have to acknowledge that Trout might have a little Tim Duncan in him, where he is a fuck.
Yeah.
He has a
And
little bit.
That's all I'm saying. And I love Tim Duncan too.
Yeah.
Like the great fundamental, the big
Yeah,
fundamental.
big fundamental. This stupid
Awesome.
fucking jeans.
Yes,
Yeah.
awesome player. Big Bears fan.
He was the most boring fucking superstar
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, I
Of
think there might
any sport of all time.
there might like,
Zero pizzazz.
Can you
to
meet me
that guy.
halfway on there
Yeah.
at least?
And yes. But like, people, I don't think people went out of their way to watch Duncan. It was just like, hey, it's the NBA Finals. Like where I feel like if you're like, hey, the Timberwolves are on.
That team was fun to watch though.
They were, but
Parker and Ginobili.
But like, if the Angels were better, I don't know if we would be having this conversation about the marketability of Mike Trout. Like if they were in the World Series
Agreed.
consistently and then
But-
playoffs like Tim Duncan was, like I think it's a different.
And that goes back
And-
to being an ownership issue.
and he's in a, like, I do agree where in a sense it's more in the NBA where players like that are in a fucked up spot because the argument is go to the Yankees, go somewhere
Yeah.
else, go to where you can contend, go to the Mets.
Mhm.
But then you're running away from the challenge. And I know that's not the case as much in baseball as it is in like the NBA. And then if you go and you get a ring somewhere else and it's like, oh, well, you didn't,
chased it.
grind it the hard way.
Yeah, I feel like the baseball thing, it's like it's different because you're getting 4 at bats. If you're playing center field, how many balls are you making a play on a game?
Maybe 0.
No, but on
No,
average,
I don't know.
6.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
7, 8. Maybe.
Yeah, so it's just like you just have fewer opportunities. Where if you're Kobe or you're a Kevin Durant, you're getting
Yeah.
40
yeah.
40
100%.
touches a
It's
game.
not apples
Yeah.
to apples, but you
Yeah.
get my point.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
People will say like,
It's a
oh, well,
unique
he
challenge.
didn't have to take that $400 million deal. He could have went somewhere. But then again, baseball is cyclical. Who knows who's going to be hot
Pop up. and-
during that whole career. So I don't know. It's an interesting discussion, I
Yeah.
think.
But here's another piece of it. I feel like Ichiro who didn't speak the language, at least pretended not to speak it when he first came over. He was way more of a marketed cultural phenomenon playing in Seattle than Trout is in LA.
Can I give you something? I think people just cared more about baseball in 2001.
Yeah, that's true.
That could be too. Yeah.
Like
Baseball, I think, peaked in 04. Like that run from like
no, it was 05.
No, but you know what I mean, where it was like that run from like 98 with McGuire and Sosa.
All the juice sets. That was the most entertaining.
And then like you had the
time.
Yankees and Red Sox, like their whole drama.
Yeah.
With the Red Sox finally winning it. I think that stretch of like 6 years was
98 to 08 was my golden years. That's the last year the Cubs made the playoffs with that core.
Yeah.
And I was,
Yeah, that was. I mean but that was like the run, and then after that, I feel like it's.
You used Ichiro as an example, though. Here is a reason why Major League Baseball sucks at marketing their superstars. In 2019, Ichiro Suzuki retired, and the Mariners and I forget who they were played their first series in Japan.
It was like Oakland, I think, right?
It might have been, yeah. And Ichiro retired in Japan, and I didn't know about it until I turned on baseball at like 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. or whatever because of the time change, and it's like, oh, Ichiro's retiring in Japan. Someone who follows the game pretty closely like I do should probably know something like that.
I
and
would
obviously,
love- I would love to find someone who works within Major League Baseball's marketing department and have them on the show. Even if they did it honestly. It's like, what's going on? Tell me how you genuinely feel about what
we'll do the voice change thing and put make him a silhouette or her a silhouette.
Yeah, first 48.
We will never we will
Forgot you were over at the baby table there for a day.
We won't. We'll keep you totally anonymous and just truly hear what you think, what they're pushing. If you feel they're doing the right, it's fascinating to know.
Are you afraid of another Ligma Ballsack situation where they end up getting fired for coming on the show?
It has happened within Major League Baseball before you're right. So, but I think
it'd be an interesting question for we're gonna talk to some White Sox guys next week. I don't know if we're teasing those still, but ask them what they think. Like how do you feel as like a superstar guy?
That's the kind of stuff I want to focus on.
I would love to ask these guys that.
Yeah.
So. We have. Can we tell?
I mean, if you want to do the White Sox, go for it. That's your domain.
We got at least Giolito and Lynn coming on, so we'll be able to get the back and forth between someone who didn't play in the World Baseball Classic and did play in it. I will love to hear what they think. And then Cease, and then waiting on other people. But at least it's going to be those three.
Did that good? Did that temper
your appetite for teas?
I don't even care about the one on Friday. It's the one on, I think, Saturday.
Saturday, yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's bailed on Barstool shit before.
I know. We'll see.
But
I don't think it's about Barstool. I think
he's
it's about
a famous musician that rocks sunglasses. Is that a
that's a good tease?
Yeah.
Good tease?
Good
and
tease.
a headband.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's all right. Give away a social security card too, motherfucker. Hey, Dave, did anything else? I mean, like we said, we're going to get in next week's opening day. We'll get into it more then. But anything White Sox wise while we're here?
Negative. I am back to White Sox Dave on Twitter. I have.
There you go. That's a big update.
That is a big update because they were in jail. But after watching the guys play, I'm willing to flush away 2022.
Go.
All right.
Lowercase Dave is dead.
Well, you were Wildcats Dave for a minute too during basketball
Wildcats,
season. Yeah.
Lowercase Dave depresses the fuck out of me, dude. He really does.
Depresses you?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's just like you have no hope or joy.
Yeah, you literally.
Yeah, you're just like, I'm
said,
fucking.
Thank
yeah.
the team for getting you through the winter.
They
sad.
I live a sad life. I live a very sad life.
Yeah.
Where I have to.
Where would you be without Ace?
Face down in a half-drained pool.
In the hang-ups urinal.
Yeah, like Chris Farley.
Oh, come on.
Jesus.
Don't do that.
That's what happened.
No, it's not. He did not die in the hang-up. He died in the
at
Hancock.
the Hancock.
Yeah.
But he was partying at the hang-up all night.
I think he was a few places. He was in a limousine with some.
That's on me. I should have known it would have went there.
Yeah,
Honestly, it was on you.
for real.
Yeah.
I take
It
blame.
is.
Can you look that up, Tom?
I think it was at the
Where did
lodge.
Chris-
I think it was at a bunch of those places.
I mean,
He was with
They're
some-
all right there. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. He was. whatever. We don't got to love Chris.
Rest in peace,
Rest
Chris
in peace,
Farley.
Yes, R.I.P.
Can we get him on the show? Can we go to his gravestone and interview him?
It's in Madison, Dave, so our opportunity probably closed on that.
That's what's stopping you.
That's a
The fact
2-hour
it's in
drive from
Madison.
here.
Yeah,
Not the fact that he's dead.
yeah, exactly.
So how did you channel your Matt Foley in that one Saturday Night Live skit to the gravestone?
I have always wanted to talk to like a
medium?
psychic.
Get a
an
Ouija
medium.
board?
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
I'm out on
do
that
that
stuff.
for
That stuff
Halloween.
kind of creeps me out.
Yeah, it kind of creeps me out too, and I'm into that shit.
The old Fisher Price Ouija board.
I went to a psychic one time.
Yeah, you like that it's sponsored by Fisher?
It's
On
I mean
Division
it's,
Street.
it's a toy. You can find it at Toys
Yeah.
R Us.
Yeah, they're at Target. I saw one the other day.
A couple Bears notes. They made a few more signings that maybe we'll call minor. Tunyon, Billings. They got a guy up
Andrew,
front.
I remember him getting recruited
He was a big recruit.
to Baylor, big time recruit.
Yeah. And then Donta Foreman, 1 year, $3 million deal, which I was surprised by.
Why?
I thought they were going to go with the draft. I did not think that they'd shore up because they're rolling in.
I saw that number, the $3 million. I think Foreman's really good. I think it's just like
I like him too.
When they traded McCaffrey, I think he had 500-yard games after the trade. Like he's a good back who was just stuck behind.
Yeah, and
know,
you got Khalil.
Herbert. Yeah, like I think he's like a great compliment. I think that
and
was
then
like
you got
a very
the third
nice move.
running back, under center.
Travis Homer. I mean, so that's.
But I do think that is part of
Yeah.
the reason. Like, it would be nice if I know this
That
is
was a
weird to
fucked
say.
up joke for you to say on
That was a fucked up joke, but
you,
it would
Dave.
be nice if Fields isn't running for 1,000 yards next year, maybe 500 or 700, and the other yards are made up through the air. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what
Just
they want to do.
move the
with
ball
him.
down the field. I don't care how it gets there.
Because they got rid of Simeon, they signed PJ Walker, which means like they're
committed.
They're really committed to the scheme.
Yeah,
So, I don't know.
which I like that too.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Although I think Simeon is just a better backup quarterback overall
I hated seeing him go.
because you can't see him at the dog,
Dog
park
park.
anymore.
I saw him once.
Yeah. And I guess Ryan Poles told Peter King that he did have an option to trade
From
with
one,
the Texans,
yeah,
1 to
2 and then 2 to 9.
Yeah, but he
Yeah.
just pulled the trigger on the first.
I
thing,
like that. It's like 1 in the hand versus 2 in the bush. Like you never know what's gonna change. Like just fucking get the deal done.
I like it. I like it too. Yeah. Anything Blackhawks?
They're terrible. They're starting to be terrible again, in a good, and I mean that in a good way. Positive
Eliminated
way.
from playoff.
Yeah, they're out of the
contention.
playoff contention, but it's like it's not. That was never really in doubt. It's really chasing like having the best lottery odds at this point. Like if they don't get a top 2 pick, like I can't stress how fucked they are. So they're doing a good job of that. They lost 5-0 to Colorado. I think the thing, if you want to be encouraged as a Blackhawks fan, the NCAA tournament's coming up, and they probably have like 5 guys playing in that tournament for different teams that have a legitimate chance at being good NHL players. So like Ryan Green, Aiden Thompson, he's a Berkshire guy, so I like rooting for him a lot. Nazar, Michigan, he was a first-round pick last year. So those are probably the top 3 guys that and then Comesso is the goalie for BU as well. He's on the same team as Ryan Green. So if you're looking to have a little encouragement, you can check out that tournament. It's always I always watch it. It's a fun tournament. So
As it stands right now, the Blackhawks have the third best
Yeah.
odds to get number 1 overall.
yeah, but I think that the percentage gap between 1 and 3 is what? I think it goes 25, then like 18, and then 13.
25, 13 and a half, 11 and a half.
Yeah, so it's like a
14
big.
per-
It's
that's
a
a-
big gap.
That's a huge gap.
So I think they're like maybe. I think Columbus has like maybe 3 less points than them right now.
Correct.
So and Columbus won last night. So
Got to hit up my guy Zach Werenski, get some more pucks on net.
I think he's been out for the year.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I know he's been hurt for
Yeah.
a while. I didn't know if he was back or not.
Yeah, but yeah, they're bad. They're very bad. So it's gonna be hard to catch them. And I just have this feeling that the Hawks are gonna get fucked. But I do want to throw a draft lottery party. The draft lottery is on May 8th, which is a Monday. So I think I want to go do something at the bar. I think the lottery is gonna be at like 6 local time. Just get people out, and then we can either celebrate or just be like,
We're fucked.
shit. Yeah.
Nice. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
I've been meaning to ask you this too. Seth Jones.
What about him?
We just you're just stuck? Is there like an eventually like they'd be able to move
I mean,
that?
he's one of those guys that just like he can't escape this narrative. He's been pretty good this year since he came back from the thumb injury. Like he's like genuinely been pretty good on an absolute garbage team, and he's never going to be like a Norris guy. Stuck with him. I don't know. Like he makes $9.5 million now. It's not like some issue with the cap, and never will be, because by the time they're good again, the cap's going to go up, and then $9.5 million for a guy who's going to play 25 minutes a night, top 4 minutes, be on your first power play. No one's going to be like, oh, that's a bad number. So it's like the narrative is they made him the highest paid defenseman at the time. I don't care really about the package that they gave up for him. It was centered around Boquist and like another first round pick, and that he's okay. Like he's a good player. This kid Mike Sillinger. So I'm like almost. It's like the people who think that he sucks are always going to think that he sucks, and they'll never be able to just look at him objectively. And it's just like a talking point. And I feel bad for him because he signed up for a team that had Taves, Kane, Strome, DeBrincat, all Hagel, all these guys, and Marc-Andre Fleury and net. And he was like, I'm going to come in and we're going to, be back fighting for the wild card. And I'm going to sign here long term, and I'll be the next captain when Taves is done. There's a lot of smoke coming out that Taves is just going to retire too, by the way. So
I see that.
Yeah. So we'll see if that actually comes true. But yeah, Jones probably thought that he was going to be the piece of the puzzle that gets him back in like that wild card mix. And I think if they didn't have like the whole Kyle Beach controversy and then the world's worst coach with Jeremy Colleton at the start of last year, I do think that team, if you look at what those guys are doing, Hagel's got like, he's going to have like 30 goals for Tampa Bay this year. Like he's a fucking good player. And if they had kept those DeBrincat, all those guys together, and then they added, free agency, they still would have been able to afford a Max Domi. Like they probably would have been a playoff team the last couple of years. Not like a good one, but a team that could get in and like, give someone a run for their money in the first round and then lose in the second round. Like, and I would have been thrilled with that as a way to end this era. But he got sold a bill of goods, and they were so toxic last year right out of the gates with everything, and then they never recovered, and then they just decided to tear it all down, and he's like, well, fuck. I guess I'm here for another 8 years or whatever it is. So
Tough.
Yeah.
What was that look?
What look?
I just did the draft simulator and it wasn't good.
I've been doing it every day. Yeah, might as well hit it.
Want to do it until we get it?
Or
Sure, yeah, we'll close the
maybe
show with
10.
that. We'll close the show with doing the draft simulator.
yeah, so hit the reset button, and you can do it. Click on the mock draft, and then hit it, so we can just see the player names.
See who we'll get.
Yeah.
Okay, so right now,
Oh, two.
Fantilli, you know what? Close it right now. Close it.
no, we're gonna set. I mean, I know Fantilli's really good, but I want Bedard.
No,
Yeah, I
look
want
at
Bedard
one in
too.
the hand, two in the bush.
I want all in the bush.
If you told me,
me the
I
bush.
don't get that phrase, by the way.
I don't
I
get
never-
it, but I love that he says it all the time.
you guys don't understand that phrase.
I
If
know
there's two
I
birds
know,
in the bush that you're hunting, it's fucking hard to catch birds. So you're better off just I'll trade one in my hand for those two over there, because then I don't have to go and fucking catch them, because it's really hard to catch birds. So just be happy with what you got. If someone told me right now that you're not in the lottery, but you get Fantilli, and you don't have the risk of dropping down to 5th or 6th, but we'll guarantee you Fantilli, but we guarantee you don't get Bedard, I would take Fantilli.
What letter of the Corinthians was that in?
first or second.
Letter St. John's? I don't know. I don't know the Bible that well. I don't
Matthew,
think it was
Mark,
in the
Luke,
Bible.
John,
Was it in the
first and
Bible?
No, I have no idea. But
I don't know
Maybe
where
the
I don't
New
know where it came from. Maybe I should bring back Barstool WTF for that, because that is what that expression means.
It's funny. Okay, we're getting Fantilli.
I do have an update on my dad. Would you like this, Ed?
Yeah,
I don't think we even told Eddie this yet.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
So KFC, that fucking dipshit, he quote tweeted someone that said the World Baseball Classic is on tonight, USA versus Japan, and the dad he said something like, I don't care. So I used it as a little test on my dad, and I go, World Baseball Classic tonight, Team Japan versus Team USA. He goes, on it. And then he texted me back at 8:22 this morning, Trout sucks. And I didn't respond. So he knows how to text though.
Oh,
now.
Dave did leave the door open a crack to let his dad come on.
Yes.
Really?
That happened.
I forget
too.
why.
I forget why too, but that did happen.
It's not a no.
You guys are alerting me now.
We were gonna FaceTime you. It was a whole thing.
Yeah.
You should have.
Yeah.
What was it? What
we
what
were
you
doing the
talking about?
bracket buskers here. Had a couple buskers.
Yeah.
Got Dave to say that it's not a no, it's a maybe. William
Yeah,
Williams
he
maybe.
opened up.
It's still
opened
a
up.
1 in a million now.
He opened it up this much. So
One
we
in a
just gotta
million, but not no.
keep
Can't have my
prying it
dad
in there.
Pulling any.
Get edited. We won't have him on the Tuesday show. It's not live.
And we should probably edit that too because I don't want people to. Yeah, actually, Tom, please edit. I'm not even kidding. Please edit that.
You've said it so many times.
Not
but
well. I
agree.
didn't go into why.
Yeah.
I never used. That'll make it too obvious.
So cut this whole segment
Yeah,
out, I
yeah.
guess. Can we just put beeps over it?
Yeah, put it like in.
It's a tease.
All right.
Like in
Do what
Happy
you want.
Gilmore.
Beep out.
Yeah. Well, regardless, all I need is an opening. That makes me happy.
Yeah.
All I need is an opening. Thank you, Dave. All right, then. That's it.
That was a fun show.
Yeah, fun show. Arizona this weekend. And we'll be back next week with a bunch of interviews banked. So, all right, everybody. See you guys on Tuesday.